reinforcing the widely held conceit that both Victoria and her subjects were, for the most part, miserable Puritans. The idea that our Victorian ancestors did not know how to enjoy themselves is, of course, nonsense. The 19th century was an age of popular entertainment, from the Crystal Palace to the Palace of Varieties. True, the Victorians promoted rational recreation, including public parks, libraries and museums, but they also craved excitement. The Greater Britain Exhibition at Earl's Court, 1899 for example, contained not only instructive colonialist exhibits, but the Great Wheel, a 300-foot-tall precursor of the London Eye, and assorted fairground rides. Further attractions included bicycle polo, the bioscope, early cinema, the electrophone, Walkman-style headphones for listening to music by telephone, and a recreation of a Hong Kong opium den, without the opium. A favourite with the crowds was the Great Canadian Water Chute, like a modern log flume, but in a flat-bottomed boat, which enabled visitors to indulge in the British pastime of shouting. If we rather struggle to imagine proverbially dour Victorians screaming with joy and delight, this is partly an image problem. Countless hatchet-faced pictures of our great-great-grandparents suggest a rather grim, buttoned-up world composed solely of tight corsets and uptight people. We forget that presenting an unsmiling countenance was photographic studio etiquette, and that these were formal portraits rather than attempts to capture a fleeting moment. Even when film footage survives of Victorians simply having fun, for example R.W. Paul's A Switchback Railway at Alexandra Palace, the scenes are necessarily mute, the noise and excitement lost to posterity. But there were smiles, shouts, and even giddy screams. The Victorians developed their own modern forms of leisure, suited to the industrial age. Their history is the core subject matter of this book, the invention of mass entertainment. Throughout the 19th century, traditional venues for recreation were upgraded to cater for and create demand. The homely public house yielded to the more commercial, custom-built gin palace. Rooms above the pub, which once hosted convivial sing-alongs, grew into grand music halls and then variety theatres. Quiet seaside resorts, newly served by steamships and railway lines, constructed elegant ironwork piers and palatial winter gardens. New mechanised amusement rides prospered at exhibition grounds and beside the sea, prefiguring the modern theme park. The pace of change could be dizzying. Football offers a prime example. During the 1880s and 1890s, assorted humble sports clubs, formed at the workplace, school or church, developed into profitable businesses with grand stadiums, professional players, and crowds of spectators numbering in their thousands or even tens of thousands. Various factors facilitated the growth of mass entertainment, not least a rapidly urbanizing population. There was also a slow but sure rise in the standard of living among the working class in the final decades of the century, which gave the lower orders more disposable income. This was coupled with the growth of mass media, including the sporting press and the advertising industry. The rigid discipline of the factory also contributed to a clear demarcation of leisure time, combined with the gradual introduction of a shorter working week. This included replacing customary informal absences on Mondays, so-called Saint Monday, with an agreed half-day on Saturday. Railways, meanwhile, offered unparalleled opportunity for recreational travel, particularly important for exhibition grounds and seaside resorts. But the great overarching driving force behind the entertainment explosion was the quest for profit. The densely populated cities of the Industrial Revolution allowed publicans and other leisure entrepreneurs to become traders on a large scale. The Victorians were amused, and it could prove a very profitable business. There was admittedly opposition to this new leisure world. Much